Hello and welcome back to Toy Thursday with Johnny Tiger on Thursday, November 18, 2021. Continuing our series of grandmas that kick butt. This week is quite long awaited. Actually, you can say that the figure, the character we are going to be looking at this week is the reason that I started this short series of very badass grandmas, grandmotherly characters. It's all come down to this week. You see, my fascination with the character I'm going to show you this week started long before the character was even a concept art. Now, I do not have any actual uh, admiration, interest, whatever you might call it, toward this particular character. I do not play the game that she came from, and I granted, I have dated quite a few older women in my life. I'm not really interested in a character that old uh, in that kind of sense. Just want to clarify that. But I have been uh, infatuated with the idea of a very badass, very capable, older or old lady character ever since I read James Axler's Earth Blood series of novels. Earthblood is relatively short. It took place in here on Earth, and basically, long story short, a bunch of astronauts go up into outer space, and then they were supposed to take care of some exploration and business up there, but something went wrong. By the time they got back, Earth has been devastated with some kind of nuclear event. It's been a long time since I read it. When I read Earthblood, it was like 2007. Um, so I don't actually remember a whole lot about the books. I can tell you it's worthwhile to read. It's not bad. It's not something I would say it's extremely good either, but it's readable. It's enjoyable. And the most memorable character in the Earthblood series, even though I do not remember her name, is this older lady that is the most badass, the most scary character. She's not a bad guy, a bad person, but she was like a secret agent, special forces spy for the government, and she's this grandma that definitely kicked a lot of butt. Just very dangerous, like almost like an old lady agent 007. You can say except she's a lot darker, a lot more violent. But generally speaking, she was still on the side of good. Um, Ever since I read Earthblood, I've been subconsciously waiting for one day having a character like that on my shelf. An old lady that is dangerous and capable and skilled and a great warrior, something like that. Fast forward 10 years, 2017, NECA came up with a line of action figures devoted to, based off the game Heroes of the Storm. Now, the line was short-lived, unfortunately. It's really sad. Really, really, really is sad because I really enjoyed that line of action figure. Now, long story short there, I keep saying that, I know, but it always end up being long-winded. Hero of the Storm it's a game developed by Blizzard Entertainment, and basically they took all the very popular characters from Blizzard's various titles, such as Diablo, uh, World of Warcraft, StarCraft, etc., etc., and lump them all into this nexus, to this alternate reality. Uh, Imagine some twisted and demented god reached through time and space and brought all these heroes and villains from various time, various properties, various worlds together. So you have people from space and different planet, and then you have people from a different fantasy world. You have dragons and wizards and knights and witches and uh, demonic entities alongside robots and uh, people with guns and grenades and all that stuff. Basically, like a huge battle royale, and see the best person would be the last person standing. Okay, did it make sense? No, it didn't make a lot of sense. It basically just Blizzard trying to cash in on this idea of what would happen if this person from this universe was to meet that person from that universe, who would win, etc., etc. I wasn't really interested in Heroes of the Storm, but Heroes of the Storm introduced us to several major characters from properties that I was interested in, such as Diablo and the World of Warcraft. We'll talk more about that in the future episode when I show some of those characters. Um, but while I was researching these characters from Heroes of the Storm, I came across the subject of today's video. Some of you are saying, well, what do you mean by researching? Well, here's how it usually works. If I come across a property or some new action figure that I have no idea of, then my first stop is plug the name into Google. Who is blah blah blah, or uh, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl Wikipedia entry, and I would spend the next half an hour read everything I can up on the character, and then that is not the end of my research, and then just to get a more of a personal feel of the character, I would go on YouTube and look up. Okay, is this character does this character have a movie scene or cartoon scene, or is there game footage, or is a cutscene from a game where I can listen to this character talk and listen to them do battle, and then I decide if I want this action figure or not. Okay, so I was researching some of the Hero of the Storm characters, and out of nowhere, I heard this old lady voice, and one of the characters that I had no idea who she was, and whoa, oh, who is this? She sounds kind of old. I wonder what's the idea? What's the like how does she fit into the story? What is her what's her gimmick? And I started. That's when I first learned about the Overwatch character by the name of Ana Amari. In the beginning, Ana Amari was a member of the Egyptian Defense Force military group. She is the world's most deadly sniper. She is very loyal to her teammates and she tends to fight on the side of good. Her goal has always been to do the best she could to defend her homeland from external threat. I do not know a heck of a lot about Overwatch, where Ana Amari uh, was the character came from, but uh, the basic outline of the story was that one day there was a robot uprising that threatened the whole world. Kind of, if you would, just imagine what happened in Terminator. Okay, so the machine tried to take over the world, and the world's government decided, the countermeasure to this threat from the robot was to pull together talent and experts and fighters from every nation and put together this uh, ultra super powered, super high technology, high tech strike team that can deal with the threat. And the team name was Overwatch. And Ana Amari, being one of the world's deadliest snipers, was uh, drafted to be a member of Overwatch. In many ways, Ana Amari was sometimes second in command. Her title is actually Captain Ana Amari. Her role on the battlefield has been very, very important to the success of Overwatch and its soldiers. Because you see, Ana Amari not only is she able to kill her enemies from long distance with her sniper rifle, her guns also have the rather strange ability to heal her own teammate. Uh, her rifle is called biotic rifle, and apparently the bullet from this rifle can somehow distinguish her teammate from enemy. So when the dart hit enemies, when the bullet hit enemy, it kills them. If it hit her own people, it restores them to health if they're injured, wounded, or dying. So Ana Amari is not only a sniper, she is also one of the most effective battlefield medic. She doesn't even have to get close to her teammates. She can just shoot them from long distance, and her bullet will heal them and restore them and get them back in the fight. That makes her extremely valuable. Unfortunately, one day, during one of their more dangerous missions, Ana Amari got into a gunfight with another sniper who was, if anything, just as skilled as she was. And she shot the other sniper, and the other sniper shot her through one of her eyes and destroyed her, I can't remember, left eye or right eye. And she disappeared after this. Her teammate thought that she died, but unknown to them, Anna actually survived her grievous injury. For a short time, she had some memory loss, and she was nursed back to health by some kind-hearted villagers. After that, she decided that she had served the military enough for her long and tumultuous life, and she decided to, well, have an early retirement. Everyone thought she was dead anyway, so she decided to just let it go and play dead and retire quietly. Unfortunately, as so often is the case, Anna was ready to retire, but fate would have it that she soon realized that her homeland, Egypt, was being plagued by many, many problems, and Overwatch was no longer there to help. Reluctantly, Anna put on a new suit of high-tech armor and outfit and dubbed herself the vigilante Shrike and got her aging but still very fit and healthy butt back on the battlefield to defend the weak and to fight evil. And that is how she is depicted here in her Shrike outfit. At this point in the story, Anna is 60 years old or over 60 years old, so she definitely qualifies as a grandma that kicks butt. In her Shrike outfit, she has a black and purple and teal color scheme that is quite striking. She's wearing a hood over a very high-tech helmet that conceals her identity from everyone that meets her. In the front of the helmet, you can see three blue lines forming an inverted triangle. Now, we don't really know what that is for, but it's quite possible that is some kind of targeting computer that allow her to be the deadly sniper that she is. On the wrist of her left arm, you can see a small high-tech device that is her nano booster. What is a nano booster? Well, I don't really know how it works, but apparently, when she need to. This is how it works in the game anyway. If she has to, she can inject one of her allies with a nano booster. It's like a syringe or dart gun that's mounted on her wrist. And if she injects her ally with a nano booster, it will make them superhuman, gives them super strength and super speed for a short duration of time. From her neck down, she is dressed in a long, tattered coat with a bandolier of grenades strapped across her chest. Underneath the strap, there is a standard flak jacket or bulletproof jacket. So, unlike a lot of the more colorful or garish or outrageous uh, characters, Ana Amari dresses the part of a field soldier. Her coat sleeves are rolled above her elbow, and even though her coat is actually a softer material, and if you work at it, you can actually remove both her coat and the bandolier of grenade across her chest. But there's no point doing that because the sleeve of the coat is sculpted onto her arm, so she would just look really odd if you take off her coat. She would end up only have the sleeve on her arms and not the coat would be missing. So that it's kind of one of those things that kind of pointless to include as a feature. But it's nice. The coat is a very nice sculpt. It has patches of colors and the details. It's very nice. I do hope, however, that it was a softer material because even though it is rubbery, it is stiff enough to hamper her in some deeper crouches and kneeling position. Going further down, we can see that Shrike or Ana Amari is wearing a huge tactical belt around her waist. It either has a lot of computer or armored panels on it, or might be pouches that hold her ammunition. On her leg, she is sporting some really baggy feeling pants and supporting some giant knee pads, this armored knee pads that allow her to kneel down without needing a knee replacement. Yeah, when you get to a certain age, you really have to watch kneeling down on the floor. It's really rough on your joints. So knee pads are good. Underneath knee pad, we see some very tight leggings. Uh, you can see she got very shapely, very slender calves. And on her feet, she's wearing some kind of armored combat boots or armored shoes that probably allow her to kick the living snot out of any enemy that want to get too close to her. The back of her long coat go all the way down to her ankles. And this is where one of the major drawbacks of this figure is. As I already mentioned, the coat is kind of a pliable, soft, rubbery material, but it is stiff enough that when you try to get this character to get down in a crouch or kneeling position, like she needs to uh, fire her sniper rifle, the coat tend to get in the way and either lift her off the floor or sometimes in warmer weather, the coat will just get really, really warped. The rubber will get really warped. So either way, it's a little bit of a flaw in the character design. Like honestly, if you're doing a coat like this, uh, especially when you give the character enough joints, so she's supposed to crouch and kneel and all that stuff. then it's best to just use a totally soft, like cloth or synthetic material, rather than this rubber. It's too stiff for her to be able to move. I mean, that is kind of ironic. Here she is, an older character and grandma that's trying to kick butt, and her joints work really good. She doesn't have stiff joints, but she's prevented from being able to move very well because her coat is too stiff. How ironic is that? Now, Ana or Shrike here was made by Hasbro, the company famous for making Marvel superheroes and Star Wars and all that really, really good stuff. Hasbro has become one of the leading contenders, of the leading toy makers in the last 10 years. Really impressive stuff. So, technically speaking, Anna should be very well articulated. And indeed, she does have a lot of joints, but unfortunately, she suffers a little bit from the problem with movement with regarding to her design. For example, her helmet and hood combination means that her head have almost no range of motion. She can turn her head left or right, but that's about it. And there's no way for her to look up or look down because the hood is a soft rubbery material that will constantly try to push her head back in the default position. Her arms are also limited by the sleeves of her coat, the puffy rolled up sleeve design, and her waist, she can actually bend forward. So if only she could look up, you can put her in a running pose, but because her head is kind of stuck looking forward, so having her bend forward will just make it look like she's taking a bow. In addition to that, with the aforementioned coat making her leg joints a bit wonky because any kind of deeper stance or crouching position is obstructed by her coattail, as Anna unfortunately is not very mobile, which, I mean, she is a grandma that kicks butt, but kicking butt or not, she is not known for jumping around doing Spider-Man poses. So I guess that's okay. But there is a major flaw with her limited articulation, which we will talk about in a little bit. Because of her limited articulation or joints that don't really work, and her small feet, she is also notoriously hard to stay standing. Uh, she's one of those action figures that tend to tumble off the shelf, even if there's a slight vibration in the air. Uh, Luckily, she has holes at the bottom of her feet, so you can attach her to an action figure stand. She does not come with an action figure stand, however, so you have to pilfer one from other characters if you want her to have an easier time spend standing. For accessories, Shrike, Anna, comes with an alternate pair of hands. You guys can see that the hands she has right now, they're like gun holding hands with trigger finger out and the rest of the hand ready to hold an item. Now this makes sense because Anna is a sniper. She's a sharpshooter. Her whole gimmick is shooting. So, but her other pair of hands does not make sense at all. I'm not going to show them on camera because I honestly don't know where they've gone off to because they are pretty pointless. She comes with a pair of hands that is open, relaxed, which does not make sense for this character because her anytime you see her, she's holding a gun, one kind or another. She very rarely, if ever, is shown doing anything with open palm or relaxed hand. Uh, so, yeah, I feel that giving her a pair of open palmed hand is a little bit of a wacky decision that does nothing but waste plastic, unless you want to have your Ana practicing some Tai Chi, but then she wouldn't be doing that in her Shrike high-tech outfit. If she's doing that, she would be in a more civilian outfit. So even that doesn't make sense. But anyway, like I said, those extra pair of hands, I have no idea where they are, so we won't worry too much about them. Uh, she also comes with her signature weapon, the biotic sniper rifle that can heal her friend and kill her enemies. The biotic rifle, honestly, is a little bit disappointing. The material is very flimsy. The gun is rather small, although that might be the way it was designed. I mean, it is some kind of high-tech gun that can heal your friends and kill your enemies. So, who's to say it shouldn't be this small? But it is definitely nowhere as big and imposing as a sniper rifle should be. And worst of all, it's really difficult to get this gun into her tiny hand because the grip is a little bit large. So getting her to hold it is very, very tiresome. I had to fiddle with it for almost 5 minutes to get it to stay in her hand. And on top of that, because her arm articulation, her arm joints are so limited by her outfit, she cannot really raise the gun so she can look through the scope. She cannot get the stock to her shoulder. She can't really pull off any convincing sniper poses except for holding it like the way she is, just out in front of her like it's a common shotgun or a machine gun. The gun, however, does come with a translucent piece of energy effect that you can plug onto the barrel, make it look like she just fired it. So that is a very, very nifty effect. And this is where I would say, if you have not checked them out, all the Overwatch action figures by Hasbro, every single character, come with energy effect for their guns, which is really, really a nifty gimmick, makes them seem a lot more dynamic and exciting. Maybe part of being the world's deadliest sniper means she can fire her sniper rifle gangster style rather than having to take a proper sniper pose. I don't know, but hey, we we have to make do with what we're given, and there's really not a lot of good poses she can pull off with her sniper rifle that is convincing. Now, luckily, that is not the only gun she comes with. She does come with a secondary sidearm. When long range fighting is not an option, Ana can shoulder her sniper rifle and carry it by the strap, sort of, over one shoulder like this. Unfortunately, there's no way to actually get it over her head because of her bulky outfit. So the best she can do is carry it like a shoulder purse, and hopefully she doesn't shoot herself in the foot. Uh, when enemies get too close, she has her little tranquilizer pistol that she can use to tranquilize them and put them to sleep so she can run away or well, we don't want to contemplate other things. She's a good guy. She's a very honorable person, so I'm pretty sure she just tranquilizes them and run away. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. At least she's able to hold the little pistol a lot more convincingly than that sniper rifle that doesn't even look like a sniper rifle. Eh? In the end, Ana Amari, aka Shrike, is definitely the ideal badass of the bad, of the old lady that I've shown so far. She is a military personnel, uh, heroine, uh, war veteran, the world's deadliest sniper, even after losing one eye, even after her early retirement, she came back to the battlefield to fight for justice and the weak. She's definitely a very, very tough older lady. Um, as far as the character goes, she is very unique and very refreshing at the same time. Unfortunately, her action figure suffers from some very bad design choices, uh, including joint problems and inability to hold her gun uh, convincingly and very difficult to stand. Uh, and this is not just her. The entire Overwatch line of action figures has been just really poorly thought out from the ground level up, and resulting in them being cancelled after Series 2, which is really sad because I was really looking forward to get some of the bad guys. We ended up getting a lot of good guys and no bad guys for them to fight, uh, which is awkward. Um, but regardless, it is very nice to have a rendition of this tough old character on the shelf. I hope you guys have enjoyed this last 3 weeks of grandmas that kick butt. Next week, we are going to look at one more grandmotherly figure uh, that will be an honorable mention before we move the spotlight over to some grandpas that are not afraid to throw down. Thank you for checking out today's Toy Thursday. We'll be back again tomorrow for Fitness Friday with Johnny Tiger and Kitten.